Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw tips and tricks. Just yesterday, I helped somebody design this Kansas City logo. So this is going to be, and mainly for them or him, but for everybody. If you don't do your cut order right, my bed is relatively flat, but plywood has a little bit of a bow in it sometimes, and the pieces are going to fall out. So if you start on the outside, it's going to fall out. And if you focused right here, you're an eighth of an inch out of focus on that one. This one's pretty good. It didn't fall very much further, but the outer ring fell. So you need to do it in cut order. So to make it easy, I would go here to your pages and make 3 pages. Well, for some reason, I've got little size pages. Let me go ahead and correct that. So my page here is 40 by 28. Normally that doesn't happen. So let's go 40 by 28. And let's go to page 3. Okay, it changed them both. Okay, so this one's good. This is a solid piece. But what I would do is take this and copy it and go to page 2 and paste it on page 2. Then I would go back to page 1 and I would get, well, really you could do it both these at the same time, but copy it, but make sure you delete them and they're going to put them in the right spot. So what I would do is go ahead and delete these 2 that you've done, because when we bring them back in corrected, so we're going to do this one first. And the reason I put them on different pages is so when I open up Dockers, Windows, Dockers, and Objects or Object Manager, you're only going to see, well, you're seeing the 3 pages, but here's page 1. And well, let's see, here's page 1. So we have, well, if we select it, it should highlight. There's page 1. So I'm going to open that up. There we go. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 items. This is a group. So I'm going to go to Object, Group, and ungroup it. So now you see all the curves. So we want to cut this one out first. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select just the text. Well, I'm going to have to go to Object again, Group, make the curve, or break the curve apart. So now I'm going to select just the chiefs, and you can see they're not together. So what we're going to do, I've got my nudge factor. I'm going to set my nudge factor on 10, and I'm going to make it easier. Well, because there's 3 objects there. So we want all these to cut first. So what I'm going to do is take that one right there and just move it till I get that arrow. So now all these are last. Then I want this one to be last. So it needs to be to the very top. So I'm going to just grab it and place it right there till I get that line. I want this one to be next to last. See, it would have completely cut them out of order. And then I'm going to grab that one and move it up to here. So now if we move these back, and you can always do this with the tab tool. I'm going to hit the tab tool. So it's going to cut that one first, that one second, that one first, but that doesn't matter because that's the inside. Then it's going to go, see, I've got them out of order. So I need this to be cut last, and that's it. Maybe I'll go tab now. There we go. So it's going downhill. So you want to cut this one last, so when it falls. So you've got that one done. I would Control C to copy it, go back to page 1 and paste it. It pasted it right back where it needed to be anyway. Now I'm going to go to page 3 and I'm going to select these, and you can see they're all pretty close, but this is probably more critical. So what we're going to do, we're going to nudge that out of the way and nudge that out of the way. And I'm glad I did this because I've got 2 copies of that. And I had it when I went out to the shop and did that. So let's grab the outside now. And you can see, well, I just have 1 copy. So I do have 2 copies. So I'm going to select that and delete it. Well, I need the outside. So I'm going to have to go to Object and break the curve apart. So I've got that out inside. I've got that in. I deleted it. Okay. Hit that. Move it over. See, I've got 2 copies of that. So I need to take that one and delete it. This is a good exercise because that way you'll know if you had 2 copies, and I had 2 copies of that. So now we're ready to go. I want to cut these 2 out first. Well, there's 3. So what I'm going to do, it doesn't really matter what order it cuts them in, but you see it's cutting that one before that. So we need to raise that one up to here. So now when we cut, it's going to cut that, it's going to cut that, it's going to cut that. I didn't go high enough. I need to raise it up one more. So now let's go, it's going to cut that, going to cut that, it's going to cut that, and then it's going to cut that. Now, for the one I'm doing it for, I would strongly suggest do this right here, put a box for sanding. Now it needs to be cut last, and that's good because it's way up top. Now we're going to do the same thing to the Chiefs, which this doesn't really matter because there's only one piece. So what I would do is probably take another rectangle and do this right here. And normally the last thing you created is going to be your last thing cut. So let's just go over here again. It's going to cut that one, that one, that one, and then cut out the outside of the K. Then it's going to go over and cut the C, the H, the E, I, E, F and C, F and S are together. And then it's going to cut the rectangle out. That way when it falls, it'll work. So now take this and Control C to copy. Go back to page 1, Control V to paste or put it back. Now you're touching there. So we're going to take this and move it out of the way a little bit. And you could, if you can save however your piece of wood is, you could actually move this down here. And you could put your Chiefs, the word Chiefs here. You don't want to be touching. I'm really close right there. And then you could put maybe this one up here. Just try to save a little wood. I'd actually move this one up to the center, closer to the laser, top of the bed, then move this up. So this way you're going to have a good cut order. Everything's going to fall correctly. And then just what I do is I take some blue tape, 2-inch blue tape, and I tape it across. Let me get back to a good blue. And I do another one. And I pick that up out of the laser. Then I turn it over and I tape it again on the backside and take this tape off for sanding. When you're gluing stuff like this together, the back doesn't have to be sanded. But then I would take blue tape here, pick it up out of the laser, turn it over, blue tape here, take it out of the laser, turn it over, and put another blue tape. Anyway, I actually cut one out. So then what you want to do is you want to delete those other pages. So just right click and delete page, right click and delete page. So now you just have one page. And of course I would take this blue tape away so it won't interfere with your engraving. But if you'll cut that out, you'll get a much better cut, especially on these little bitty lines. I mean, if this falls and then that has to cut, it's going to be a little bit out of focus. It's not going to be a good, clean cut. Anyway, I hope that made a little bit of sense, and thank you for watching.